Who would have thought that Daniel Craig would look better not as James Bond? Although looking at this movie, I can see where they got the idea that he could make a good 007. This is the movie Layer Cake, which I haven't seen in years. It's a great movie with a few great suits in it and a lot of great casual clothes. So let's take a look at the unnamed character played by Daniel Craig and others with some excellent clothes playing London gangsters in the movie Layer Cake. As he is an unnamed character in the movie, I'm just going to refer to him as Daniel Craig in this review. And who would have thought he could have looked so good dressed down so much? If I had described his clothes to you, you might think he sounds like a bit of a slob, but as we can see from this clip, he looks very sharp indeed. He's wearing a pair of denim jeans, a light grey t-shirt, but over that he has thrown a Macintosh raincoat. I think it is the Macintosh raincoat that saves this look and makes him look a little bit smarter than the average guy in a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. I think he is much slimmer in this movie than when he played Bond, but he's still very fit, and I think he actually looks better, and he would have been better off staying that way for the Bond movies to make those suits look better, especially those Tom Ford type ones. Hi, I'm Michael, and welcome to my channel for the love of suits. If you're new here, we try to find inspiration on how to dress well from the best dressed men on the screen. We drop a new video every Wednesday and shorts throughout the week. And we are going to see some more typical London gangsters, very tacky and loud, especially with the main character, the Duke, which notably somebody quotes in the movie, "Avoid like the plague loud attention-seeking wannabe gangsters. In it for the glory." And although they're talking about gangsters, I think this is an excellent line for anybody who wants to dress up well. Avoid loud attention-seeking clothes. And we can tell from these tackily dressed gangsters that it is not going to end well for them in the movie. And Daniel Craig has lost the Macintosh and he's just wearing a plain grey t-shirt and jeans. Fine for indoors. And he's meeting up with a gangster called Gene, played by Irish actor Colm Meaney. He's wearing a black suit with a blue shirt. I talk often about black suits. I'm not saying you should never buy one, but buy one with caution. They're very limiting and not easy to match. You're basically going to either wear a white shirt or a blue shirt with them. But he's wearing a blue shirt here and he looks pretty good in it. And although they're all gangsters, we can tell the difference between the bunch of clowns that turn up dressed tackily, meeting a Dutch gangster dressed very much as a businessman. We can tell that he means business and he's probably going to survive this movie. He's wearing a very standard dark blue business suit with a white shirt and navy tie. But your suit doesn't have to be fancy. If it's got good quality fabric and a good cut that suits you, you're going to look sharp in it. And although he doesn't throw on a suit just yet, Daniel Craig throws on a very nice jacket. I often see advice telling people for their first jacket, perhaps they should buy a navy blazer. This is good advice, but I think this is a very stylish approach to his one jacket. Single-breasted with notched lapels is quite casual and sharp at the same time, and very unusual because most guys wearing a jacket will get a navy blazer. Under that, he's just throwing on a standard white shirt, wearing an open collar, and still wearing the same jeans, but he looks very smart and sharp for this important business meeting. His sidekick Monty has a very particular way of dressing, and this is his first suit. It's a beige windowpane suit, and he's thrown on a dark brown polo underneath. This is a smart combination. It's very much straddling formal and casual. You could go almost anywhere wearing this. And the dark brown polo complements the beige coloured suit while also making it either a little more mysterious or a little more fun, so that you can tell that he's not too serious, but he's still sharp and still dressed well. If you're enjoying this video so far, then please hit that like button. And better yet, subscribe and hit the notifications bell. It really helps the channel and I really appreciate it. Also check out our comments section. We have a great community there. So we've met the three main characters on the good side of the gangsters. Daniel Craig, and Monty, who will show us many combinations of polo shirts and suits, and Gene, who sticks to suits or sports coats and shirts. In this scene, you'll see a very nice leather jacket from Dunhill worn by Daniel Craig, and Monty has switched to grey. He's still wearing the same combination though. He has a nice light grey polo shirt with a dark grey suit. Again, I think it's an excellent look. It's one that you'll particularly see often in hot weather and hot climates. The polo shirt's an excellent choice, either if you want to lighten it up a little bit where the weather is hot and you want to stay a bit cooler than wearing a full shirt, or if you want to look a little bit casual and smart at the same time. The polo shirt suit combination is one I'd recommend for anybody. And here we have another couple of dodgy associates that are trying to chat up a bunch of American girls in a nightclub. They're pretending they are nobility. They're smart enough to know they need to look sharp enough to impress these women. And this is a look that'll help you stand out in any nightclub rather than just turning up in a t-shirt and a pair of jeans. And this is a very interesting moment where Ben Whishaw meets Daniel Craig in a nightclub. Ben is the Duke's nephew and is dressed in a very tacky red shirt under a jacket. This is definitely not a look you should go for, but he's Duke's nephew, so he's as tacky and standing out just as much as his uncle. Also, of course, we will see Ben Whishaw and Daniel Craig meet later on in Bond as Bond and Q. So far, Monty is proving to have the better wardrobe, and once again he's switched to another suit and polo shirt combination. This time he's got a black pinstripe suit, very nice, and a black polo. I think pinstripes are a good pattern to look at if you want something that's going to lift your suit above the ordinary. Daniel Craig has basically switched to a black t-shirt from his light grey t-shirt, but he's dressed casually as usual. Don't worry, there's some fine clothes coming. And Monty is very much sticking with this familiar combination of polo shirt and suit. You don't see black too often with pinstripes. I think it's a very good look. Pinstripes really help lift an ordinary suit out of being too plain and boring. It's something to consider if you want to wear a suit to work, but you don't work in a particularly conservative office. And he's gone monochrome this time with black on black. Although the pinstripes give the suit a little bit of a lift, the whole thing looks very interesting and he looks very cool. It's certainly something to consider when you're buying your first suit. And in two fast sequences here, we can see Daniel Craig transition from a light grey t-shirt to a light grey shirt and tie. He still looks fine in a light grey t-shirt with a pair of jeans. It's a bit better than a plain white t-shirt. And of course, again, it helps when you're in great physical condition. A similar colour light grey shirt and a dark grey or black tie. Instantly, we can see how much more seriously he will be taken with this combination on. And later we can see him with the jacket on. He's got a charcoal grey suit, a light grey shirt, and a dark grey or black tie. This monochrome black and grey look not only looks great, but is an easy one to match. They're all the same colour. If you're someone who isn't sure about how to match colours or you're unsure about your own judgment, going monochrome is a very good idea. It will help you look sharp and well dressed. If you want to dress down a bit, you can simply remove the necktie and wear an open collar shirt. Imagine not wearing a tie and wearing French cuffs with your suit. This is a subtle detail that will raise your style level just by wearing French cuffs with cufflinks on them. And here we meet the big bad of the story. Mr. Temple, played by the wonderful Michael Gambon. The first movie I ever saw Michael Gambon in, he also played a horrible gangster, and it was called The Cook, the Thief, His Wife and Her Lover. That movie is definitely not for everybody, but it was a fantastic movie, visually stunning. And of course, he's the kind of senior gentleman gangster, lives in a mansion, has a fabulous library, so he wears a three-piece suit. We don't see him wear the jacket here, but we can tell it's a dark blue or navy three-piece suit with a blue shirt on. And he's wearing a necktie even when he's at home browsing his own library. This shows he has pretensions of being upper class, but let's not forget he's a gangster. Like many people, I started my style journey with shoes and boots. It's a great place to start. Ditch those sneakers and get yourself some decent leather shoes or boots. You won't regret it. They're easy to match with any clothes. You can choose which style you like, and in the long run they are far more comfortable than sneakers. And better for the environment. If you spend about $200 to $250 on a decent pair of shoes or boots, it is going to last you for years and years and get more and more comfortable as you wear them, not less and less comfortable like sneakers. You can level up your style without calling too much attention to yourself. Unfortunately, we hardly get to see any close-ups in movies about shoes and boots, otherwise I would talk about them much more. But here we have a close-up on Daniel Craig's shoes in this movie. They are a pair of Chelsea boots from R.M. Williams. R.M. Williams is an Australian brand that used to be part owned by Hugh Jackman, but not anymore. Since then, it has been sold off to another company, and unfortunately, they're not quite what they used to be, though the prices remain very high. And here at the end of the movie, we see quite a style departure for Daniel Craig's character. I won't give away the plot, but there's a reason for it. But it's very much an old money style. He's wearing a white, off-white or cream suit with a light blue shirt. Here we see him with the jacket off, and we're going to take a good look at his trousers. He has on high-rise pants without a belt. And later he throws the jacket on and we see how good he looks in the full cream suit with the blue shirt, and it sends quite a different message to people than the clothes he's been wearing so far in the movie. And Mathew Vaughn also directed the Kingsmen movies, so as you can imagine, style is quite important to the director. But Layer Cake was his first feature, so the budget is quite tight, and all of the suits in this movie are off the rack. So if you haven't seen this movie, I recommend it. It's got great humour, great style, great action, and of course great music. But I think the Broccoli's definitely got the idea of casting Daniel Craig as James Bond from watching this movie. And I think that Daniel Craig actually looks better in this movie than he did in most of the Bond movies. Perhaps it's just that the clothes fit better. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below as usual.